If you've been curious about DealDash and wondering how it actually works, this video covers the main questions new users tend to ask before trying it. We'll go over the basics, what makes the platform different, and what you should know before placing your first bid. How does DealDash work? DealDash is an online auction platform that uses a pay-to-bid system. Instead of placing free bids, users buy bid credits, and each bid increases the auction price slightly, usually by 1 cent. If you're the highest bidder when the timer runs out, you win the item at that final auction price. So unlike regular online stores, your total cost is not just the winning price. It also includes the bids you used during the auction. Why do people say DealDash feels different from normal shopping sites? The biggest reason is that it's not traditional e-commerce. On most shopping sites, you see a price, add the item to your cart, and check out. On DealDash, the experience is much more interactive. You're watching auctions, deciding how many bids to use, and balancing the value of the item against your total spending. That makes it feel part shopping platform and part auction strategy game. What should new users understand before placing their first bid? The most important thing is to understand that every bid has a real cost. A low final auction price can look impressive, but your actual spending also includes the value of the bids you placed. New users should also know that it helps to set a budget before entering an auction, use Bidbuddy instead of bidding randomly, and focus on items they'd actually be willing to buy if they don't win. Why do some DealDash wins look too good to be true? A lot of DealDash listings end at very low final prices, which is what catches people's attention. But those prices don't tell the whole story. The winner may have spent additional money on bids to get there. That said, low final prices are still real. The key is remembering that the real total cost is the auction price plus the bids used. Once you understand that, those eye-catching wins make a lot more sense. DealDash works with brands and retailers to buy overstock inventory and passes on savings to its customers, which helps keep the prices extremely low. Are the items really new? Yes. DealDash does not sell refurbished products. Nearly everything listed is brand new and shipped in retail condition. The only uncommon exceptions are categories like collectibles or art, where items can naturally be pre-owned, but those listings are clearly labeled. Refurbished merchandise is not sold on the platform. How fast do you receive the items? After you win and complete payment, orders typically ship within a few days. Tracking information is usually provided once the order is on the way. Delivery timing can vary depending on the specific item, but in general, the process is designed to feel similar to a normal online purchase after the auction is over. Is DealDash a legitimate platform? Yes. DealDash is a legitimate auction platform that has been operating since 2009. It works with brands, wholesalers, and retailers to offer new products through online auctions. Its bidding model is different from regular shopping, which is why people often ask about it, but the platform itself is real, established, and widely used. What happens if an auction gets too competitive? If too many people are bidding on the same item, the auction can last much longer and your total bid cost can rise quickly. At that point, some users decide to stop bidding rather than chase the item too far. Others may use the buy it now option if it still makes sense for that product. Not every auction stays a good deal forever, so knowing when to step back is part of using the platform well. Does DealDash only make sense for expensive products? Not necessarily. Some people focus on higher ticket items like electronics, but DealDash can also make sense for everyday products like kitchen items, tools, household goods, or gift cards. In fact, practical lower-cost items can sometimes be easier for beginners, especially if they'd still be useful with Buy It Now as a backup option. How important is Bidbuddy, really? For a lot of users, Bidbuddy is one of the most useful features on the site. It's DealDash's automatic bidding tool, and it places bids for you when the timer gets low. That matters because it saves time, keeps you from having to watch the auction constantly. For many users, Bidbuddy is less of an extra feature and more of a core part of how they use the platform. Can you actually build a strategy on DealDash? Yes, and that's probably one of the biggest differences between casual users and more experienced ones. A simple DealDash strategy usually means setting a budget, choosing auctions carefully, using Bidbuddy, and focusing on products you genuinely consider buying with Buy It Now if needed. The platform tends to work best when you approach it with a plan instead of just jumping into random auctions. Try it out to find your own strategy. So that's a basic overview of how DealDash works and what new users should know before getting started. If you want to check out the platform for yourself, there's a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave any other DealDash questions in the comments.